If you're fed up with the rubbish sound from your monitor or looking to improve your setup without filling the desk with cables, PC soundbars are the perfect solution. Today, I'm bringing you the 7 best options available in Europe right now. From budget alternatives to complete gaming models with all the RGB you could want, all the purchase links are in the description below. Let's get into it. We start with the Razer Leviathan Phi 2X, and I have to say it surprised me for its size. At barely 40 centimeters long, it fits under any monitor, but the sound it produces is impressive. It features 2 full-range diaphragms and 2 passive radiators that deliver convincing surround audio. The great advantage is that it works with a single USB-C cable for both power and audio. No messing about. Plus, it has Bluetooth 5.0 and 14 chroma RGB lighting zones that sync with other Razer peripherals. That said, without activating THX mode from Razer Synapse, the sound is mediocre. You need the application to get the most out of it. The bass is powerful and deep for a compact soundbar. This bar is designed for gamers looking for precise spatial positioning, ideal for hearing enemy footsteps in competitive shooters, and it works brilliantly on small desks. Moving on to the Redragon GS560 RGB, also known as a Demus, and here we're talking brutal value for money. For a very tight budget, you get a compact soundbar with sound quality that's well above what you'd expect. The mids sound rich and clean, and although you won't feel deep bass, it has more punch than most rivals in this price range. It features 4 RGB lighting modes, and one of them syncs the lights with the music rhythm, which looks quite cool actually. The volume control is a very practical physical touch wheel, and here's a nice detail. You can leave the dial always pointing upwards for aesthetics and control the volume directly from Windows. That said, it doesn't have Bluetooth, only works with a 3.5mm jack cable, and the stereo image is quite weak, so for competitive gaming, where you need to know where shots are coming from, it's not the best option. But for casual gaming, background music while working or watching series, it does the job perfectly. A curious fact, this soundbar is exactly identical to the Trust GXT 1619 ROX we'll see shortly. Same hardware with different branding. Now we come to the Trust Gaming GXT 1619 ROX, which as I mentioned is the twin sister of the Redragon. 12 watts peak power, 6 watts RMS, ultra compact size, and 6 RGB modes. Unlike the Razer Leviathan we saw at the start, this one goes for maximum simplicity. Plug and play in under a minute. The cables are fixed, which is a double-edged sword because it simplifies installation, but if one breaks, you might as well start looking for a new soundbar. The sound is what you'd expect in this very tight budget range. A notable improvement over monitor speakers with fuller mids and bass that's present and does its job. Heavy metal and rock sound decent without turning into a screeching treble disaster. Imagine you're a student sharing a flat, you've got little desk space and a limited budget. This soundbar is perfect for your room, good enough for watching videos, following online classes, and having casual gaming sessions without bothering your flatmates. Don't expect miracles, but at this price point it does its job honestly. The Mars Gaming MSBX probably has the best performance to price ratio on the entire list. For a very low price, you get Bluetooth 5.0, DSP processor, and 5 RGB modes. The DSP is key here. It processes the audio, eliminating squeaks and interference that ruin cheaper soundbars. The multi-level spatiality makes a real difference. You can connect it via Bluetooth or 3.5 jack, though you have to physically remove the cable for Bluetooth to work. Available in black and white, the light version looks spectacular in minimalist setups. The touch controls on top change RGB modes with just a tap. Some users comment that volume falls short in large rooms and that at maximum it can produce static noise, but it costs the same as 2 McDonald's meals. If you work from home and need something decent for video calls, streams, and background music, this Mars Gaming is unbeatable for the price. We come to the Trust Liro, which goes for a different design. It's the slimmest soundbar of all the ones I'm showing you today. At just 78mm tall, it disappears under the monitor without taking up much vertical space. The LED lighting comes in wave patterns flowing across the front, an aesthetic touch that's much more subtle than the typical aggressive RGB of other gaming soundbars. 12 watts maximum power, large volume wheel, and simple control. While the Mars Gaming we just saw stands out for its Bluetooth and DSP, this Trust Liro keeps it basic. USB for power and 3.5 jack for audio, no complications. The sound is clean and clear at medium volume, perfect for daily use. If your priority is having a clean and minimalist desk where aesthetics matter as much as sound, this is your soundbar. You won't be throwing parties with it or feeling impactful explosions playing Call of Duty, but for working with background music, following podcasts, or having something better than laptop speakers without it being noticeable, it does the job perfectly. And at a very tight price point in sales, it's hard to find something with this carefully designed look. The GQ A40 brings an interesting proposition: dual USB and Bluetooth connectivity in a mid-budget soundbar. Unlike others we've seen, this one doesn't have a 3.5mm jack input, so you're limited to USB or Bluetooth, full stop. The vibrating 2-inch diaphragms offer surprisingly clear sound that doesn't distort even at high volume, and the balance between bass and treble is quite well achieved for the price. The RGB lighting has 4 different modes, including one that syncs with the music rhythm and actually works. It's not just marketing. The multifunction control is very intuitive. You turn the wheel to adjust volume, press once to switch between USB and Bluetooth mode, and hold for 3 seconds to power off. It comes with a USB-C adapter included, which is appreciated if you have a MacBook or modern devices. Now here's the important detail for console players. If you want to use it with PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series, you need to buy a separate Bluetooth adapter because USB alone won't work. For PCs and laptops it works perfectly, and switching between devices is very smooth. This soundbar is in its element in setups where you switch between computer and mobile frequently, or if you want something with solid construction without spending what the Razer from the start costs. We close with the Creative Stage SE, and here we step up a level. Creative has been making legendary audio products like Sound Blaster cards since the 90s, so they know what they're doing. This soundbar delivers 48 watts peak power with custom racetrack drivers and Sound Blaster technology that really makes a difference. It includes an infrared remote control, which is essential because without it, you miss key functions like surround mode that expands the soundstage and clear dialogue that isolates and boosts voices, perfect for films or RPG games with lots of dialogue. The bass is powerful and deep. It even makes the desk vibrate slightly with explosions, which adds tactile feedback that's appreciated. Bluetooth 5.3 and USB-C connectivity, though like other models, there's no 3.5 jack here either. Let me tell you a real use case. Imagine you're hooked on Baldur's Gate 3 or Cyberpunk, games where narrative and dialogue are fundamental. You activate clear dialogue mode and suddenly character voices stand out with brutal clarity without background music or effects covering them. It's brilliant for immersion. The glossy finish attracts fingerprints and dust like a magnet, mind you, and at 50% volume it's a bit low. Most people end up using between 80 and 90%. This Stage SE is the most complete and powerful option on the list. To sum up, if you're a competitive gamer and need to hear every footstep with precision, the Razer Leviathan Viv 2X is your best option. On a tight budget, the Mars Gaming MSBX wins with its Bluetooth and DSP, though the Redragon GS560 and Trust GXT1619 rocks are solid if you prefer cable. For working from home with video calls, both Mars Gaming and Trust Lero work brilliantly. If you switch often between PC and mobile, the GQ A40 with dual connectivity is perfect. And for films and single-player games, the Creative Stage SE with its clear dialogue mode is the best. Links in the description, and if you found this useful, subscribe as it helps loads. See you in the next one.